What's up guys? So in today's video I want to talk about the aspect of building habits, particularly the concept of aggregation or marginal gains, which simply is daily habits that we do and are committed to that over a sustained period of time yield us remarkable results. So if you are one of those who is ready to unleash the power of the tiny changes you have been making and turn them into compound results over a period of time, I think you should stick around for this video because it might just revolutionize your life. Stay tuned. So last week in the video that I put out about consistency, I gave 5 points which all of us could do to build a consistent lifestyle. And if you haven't watched that video, I'll just give you a quick recap on the 5 points that I noted that everyone should adopt to build a consistent lifestyle. One was definiteness of purpose. We have to have a definite of purpose of what we intend to do. 2 was think on paper, like write everything that is in your head down that you think is important, write it on paper so you could always see it. Number 3 was turn it into a plan, like whatever you've to put on paper, now turn it into a plan, like build a system around what you have put on paper so yeah, you could eventually attain it as you work towards it. Number 4 was learn to prioritize. Once you have your plan down, find out what are the most important things that you need to work upon and begin to work upon it, which was led me into number 5, which is just do it. Like start at that point. Don't, the minute you have it on a plan and you've prioritized, you know, the ones you need to work on, just do it. The 6th one, which was technically or in essence a bonus point, was turn it into a habit, and literally that was a precursor for the video that I'm putting out today, which is how to build habits, over a sustained period of time. So what is a habit? A habit is something that we perform regularly, oftentimes subconsciously or automatically. They say our subconscious mind influences 95% of our actions. That is to say, 95% of what we do, we really don't even think of it at the forefront of our mind before we do it. We're just so used to doing it, we perform it automatically or without thinking about it. A prime example would be getting into the car and driving. You know, we could get into the car and our mind could be totally somewhere else, but we could still steer the wheels and press the gas and brake accordingly and as appropriate. And that's what it is by us, you know, just having to perform actions subconsciously without thinking about it. And they actually say that 5%, only 5% of the actions that we perform are what we really think about. So when we are trying to build habits, what we're trying to do is to get these patterns that we desire to have as a habit into our subconscious realm so that we can daily perform them over an extended period of time until they become embedded in our subconscious realm and we begin to perform them subconsciously or automatically so we could get the best results that we want for ourselves. So if you want to put that whole concept on the flip side, habits are small things that over an extended period of time would yield big results. But we have to be committed to those things and we have to do those things for an extended period of time. Habits don't bring microwave change, overnight change. Habits over a long period of time, extended period of time, gives us that desired change that we want at the final outcome, and a sustainable one as that. And habits are funny because it's certain that when you start a new habit, we are all going to suffer from what we call imposter syndrome. And we all know imposter syndrome is the self-doubt of intellect, of skills, of accomplishment by high achieving individuals. And focus on that word, high achieving individuals, because when you start a habit, you're already, you know, in your mind aware that you can achieve this. But because the brain just doesn't like to be put out of its comfort zone, you know, we suffer from that imposter syndrome, which tries to restrict or retract us from expanding, you know, the capacity of our brain and mindset to be able to achieve this goal, because it's going to have to be out of its comfort zone. And that's why, you know, they coined these phrase, practice makes perfect, you know, where you have to continually impress and imprint your desired outcome through habits, through repetition, through commitment onto your brain till it accepts it as part of your identity, and you're able to do it freely without will, which will yield you remarkable results over the extended period of time. And remember, it's always over an extended period of time. And this is what happens when people sort of join gyms at the start of the year or embark on a weight loss journey, or they do not, wait for the extended period of time. They just jump in and think they're going to see remarkable changes straight away, and it never happens like that. It's habits that are not microwaved. You cannot just put it there and it turns into instant coffee straight away, bing, at the sound of 5 minutes. It has to come over an extended period of time. So in other words, to build a sustainable habit over a lengthy period of time, it actually requires behavioral change and continuous commitment. And contrary to many people's opinion, behaviors can always be changed. And behaviors do change, regardless of how rigid those behaviors have been engraved and embedded in the beholder or the person who holds that behavior. A prime example would be when you look at maybe a bad man, in terms of street language, proper bad man to the core, a bad man from Yard, from Kingston, can't ramp with him, as they say in Jamaica, or maybe other words. Those are the ones that I know. Put that bad man in a room with little toddler or with a newborn baby who just softens him and plays with him. You could see the way this bad man would speak to this baby wouldn't be in his normal street manner or hard manner. It would be in a soft voice that the baby could sort of understand or comprehend, or so it wouldn't be in the normal harsh language. And my point is, his behavior automatically changed just because of the environment that he's in. So habits are not that rigid. They could always change. So for those who say, oh, it's a habit, I can't change it, please spare me that. It could always be changed. If you put yourself in the right environment and you put your mindset on the right focus, habits could always be changed. Which brings me nicely into the concept that I coined from this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I think everyone should have a copy of this book in their library. It's a fantastic book that talks about habits, habitual patterns, and how you build habits that last you a period of a lifetime. Now, what I read in this book was about the British cycling team, Dave Brailsford, who was asked to take control of the British cycling team after they failed to win trophies in any of the major events, cycle events, for a very long time, where he brought in a concept called the aggregation of marginal gains, which technically is just a 1% increase in every aspect of what the cyclist, the whole entire team does in terms of the effort that they put into achieving their desired outcome. And surprisingly, after adopting these habits and embedding these habits into all the fabrics of the British cycling team, and I'm talking about from the coaching team to the psychological team to the nutritional team to the engineers to dynamics, to every aspect of the cycling team required a 1%, just a simple 1% improvement or 1% effort more into achieving their desired outcome, which might not seem like much, which might not, be overwhelming or too much for them to do or too much for them to incorporate, because it's literally not even so visible or seen as such, which is part of what I spoke about consistency last week, in terms of it's not so much visible, it can't be measured that much, but at the end result would always justify the means. So he brought in this concept of marginal gains and embedded it into the entire fabric from top to bottom, from executive to cleaner of the British cyclist team. And they went on over the next 5 or 6 years to win outstanding medals in all the performances that they were engaged in. And if we just take a moment to pause, reflect on that, and figure out how we can adopt that into our own habit building patterns. I spoke about our mind working subliminally Prime example would just be driving. You know, most of us just get into the car, start the engine, boom, and we're off. We don't think about pressing the pedal or how we turn right or how we turn left or when we stop. Or it's all just, you know, at the start of our driving course, if we all remember, that was never the case. You know, you had to almost look at the pedal to make sure you were pressing the brake and not the gas. But now, you know, after your brain has just been so used to you, you know, driving for an extended period of time, it was never at the start of it. You could just go in there. Some of us just lean to the side, you know, join me while I ride. And that's just how it is. I mean, that was a whole lot to deal with at that point in time. But he's talking about, look at it this way, in your general life, 1% increase that would not be so evident that your brain would reject it and you abandon it along the wayside because, you know, your brain is operating in this flight or fight mode. You know, it's unconsciously going to be accepting it because it really doesn't think that much of it, and it's not even too much for you, your own body and your own mind to comprehend, because it's just 1%. What happens if you used to do 10 press-ups and automatically you begin to do 11? You know, it's just one extra push. What happens if you were trying to stop smoking and you used to smoke 10 sticks and automatically you just begin to smoke 9? You've just dropped down 1. It doesn't seem like a major thing. Somewhere along the line, you could just skip 1. You could just break 1 cigarette, or you could just light it and throw it away. I did all of those things when I was trying to free of smoking at that point in time. But it's just what it is. It's a 1% effort towards whatever you're doing, just 1%. And what he says is over a period of time, an extended period of time, never overnight, never microwave session, never instant coffee session, but over an extended period of time, 1%, for example, 1% over an entire year would give you an amazing whooping 37% increase into the whatever effort you're putting that effort into. And that's just what he's talking about. Do a habit that's so small, so tiny, wouldn't make such a difference to your entire schedule because you're starting the building process of this habit. But eventually, over a period of time, if you're committed, consistent to that habit, that 1% over a lengthy period of time would give you a compound interest on what the start of input of that habit exactly was. And the reason why he talks about a 1% increase or 1% effort in all the habits we're trying to form is because part of the challenges of habit formation is staying motivated when results are not coming. They say enthusiasm has a lifespan. So when you're enthusiastic about something, there's always a lifespan to it. If the results that are coming are not constantly keeping you enthusiastic about it, then your enthusiasm will dwindle away. Because the truth is, the world is obsessed with overnight success, viral content, instant gratification, 1 million likes or 1 million streams all of a sudden. But the reality to this is actually quite different. The best success that anyone could get are success that we've inputted small consistent actions into, or that we've built small consistent actions into over a long period of time that brings us a sustainable and desired goal that would actually last. So now that I've tried to unpack all the wisdom that lies behind remaining consistent in the last video and this video, how to form long-lasting habits for a lifetime, let me challenge you to look for one habit that you can now adopt into your lifestyle and that resonates with the outcome that you want for yourself, and put 1% effort into it over the rest of this period of year and watch and see how it transforms your life. It could be as little as reading for an extra few minutes a day, or by waking up and saying a prayer in the morning, or by just taking an extra walk. As I said, if you're a smoker, 1 less cigarette a day. If you're a drinker, 1 less can of beer a day. If you're losing weight, 1 less burger a day or a week, or whenever you eat your unhealthy food. Just 1 less thing that turns into an effort. And come back to me over the next few months and tell me what difference this will make to your lifestyle. And I can assure you it will be a remarkable difference without you even knowing it. If you like this video and you'd like to see more of it, please like, share and comment underneath. Subscribe if you're on YouTube, and at least tell me 1 or 2 areas of your life that you would now be adopting this aggregation of marginal gains to 1% effort that would give you 30% increase over a period of time in any area of your life you consistently are committed to. Remember, greatness is never achieved overnight. It's always as a result of small, consistent actions and decisions that we take consistently over a period of time. Until I speak to you again, take care, stay safe, God bless.